right. He needs to stop talking. He needs to stop talking. You know what I'm saying? All right, I think it'll connect. All right. Oh, okay. Okay.
Gotta get right. All right. Boom. We should be good. Let me get this on real quick. Tighten that up. And all right, cool. I think it's driving nuts, man. All right, test, test, test. Make sure the audio's coming in. Test, test, test. I think my mic unplugged last show. What the heck? Oh. There we go. There we go. Test, test, test. All right, it should be working now. Sound, sound, sound. Looks good. Looks good. And then headphones are this one. Yes. Okay. Wow. We got it. That was a struggle. Oh my goodness. But we're live. We're live, man. I was gonna do this video, but it was taking too long. So I'm like, all right, forget it. We're gonna go live. We're gonna talk about practice today. This potentially could be my last day from training camp this year. So, you know, we might as well enjoy it as a live stream because this could be it. There is practice tomorrow. There is practice Wednesday. Don't think there's anything Tuesday that's open to the public. And then after that, it's done. Now, I don't know. Maybe media will get some access, but I don't think that they do. I think this is it. So we're live for it. We're here. It's DT Fan Man's birthday. That's actually why I went live. You know what I mean? Like it's because it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Let's get some birthday cakes in the chat, man. Let's get that rolling. Let's get that going. Let's get some birthday. There we go. Pants is already on it. Pants already knows what time it is. Let's get some birthday cakes in the chat. We're gonna talk just a very little bit about the new additions that we've made. I've watched a little bit of each player, not a lot though. So we'll talk a very little bit about that to get things started, as well as the insane amount of injury updates that we have that we need to talk about too. Just a little bit, and then we'll go through some of the notes that I had today. Now, unfortunately, they were on the side of the field where the bleachers are not, so it's difficult to actually tell what's happening. But I think we got some good stuff. We definitely got good one-on-one stuff. I got pretty much notes from every single one-on-one, which is good. And then situationally, I didn't know Jake Bates made that from like 64. I think it was 64 yards is what some have reported. I knew it was long. I was like, that was definitely 55 plus, and he made that thing like with ease. Then they said it was 64. I was like, oh, snap. That was 64. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I see the birthday cakes. That's what's up. RIP Nate Limp, man. Honestly, I didn't even know that happened. I didn't know that happened during the game. I remember somebody getting carted off. Maybe I do remember that happening. I guess maybe I do. But yeah, that's awful news. I'll actually just throw that on the screen now while we get that started. I see the truth, Braylon Trice. I got that on the way home. Dang injuries, man. But this is the little sheet here, just to kind of throw some of the updates. I think I got everything here, and I'll just let that sit on the screen for a second as we get this thing going. Backup quarterback starting to become an issue. Yeah, I think they'll sign somebody. I mean, Hendon Hooker. It sounds like they're aiming for Friday to try to get back, and Dan Campbell said that was something that they would kind of maybe make the decision by today. So I think within the next couple of days we're gonna get a quarterback signed. Was that Connor? Yeah, it was Connor Galvin. Connor Galvin carted off, but then they also said that Nate Lynn did too. Maybe I missed that. I don't know why Nate Lynn would get carted off though for a shoulder injury. I don't know. Either way, he's out for the season. Connor Galvin did get carted off, and then he was waived injured by the Lions, which is, to me, that one is. Both of them stink. They both stink. First off, Nate Lynn was balling, like straight. That guy was balling towards the end of camp. He was balling in that game. He was playing his butt off. And that Sam Backer role, like, hey, there was a door to kind of step into, and he was doing that. So that tied along with Connor Galvin, who played really well Connor Galvin played really well last preseason, really well, and I thought maybe he would have had his opportunity to potentially show, like, yo, I can play both tackle positions this year, not just left tackle. Maybe get more reps, and then he could potentially become our Matt Nelson or our Dan Skipper, the guy that sticks around for a while. That's how good he was last season. You knew the limitations, but in his role, he had really strong preseason games with limited amount of snaps. And I can remember we came on here last year and we did like our players that stood out, stock watch, constantly. It was like Connor Galvin, man, looking good. He didn't make the team, but this was that year to take that next step, and then you see that happen. So they found out about Nate Lynn after the game. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense then. So both of those stink. I hate both of those. Those are terrible. And the Lions, as you can see at the top, made a couple of moves, added some depth. We got Beauplan. I think that's how you pronounce his name. We'll show a couple of clips. I have a couple of clips saved. The linebacker that spent most recently his time with the Minnesota Vikings. In 2023, was on their team for the preseason, played the first couple of games that year. For a little bit I watched, he actually was kind of a flash player. And then Jaquan Jones, is that his name, Jaquan Jones, who was with the Seattle Seahawks when we most recently actually saw him play. We haven't seen him play, from my understanding, in since 2021, legitimate playing outside of a few snaps over the past couple of seasons. So he's 28 years old, former end of the 5th round pick that is built really well for a tackle, 35-inch arms, 6'4", basically 300 pounds coming out, but athletically tested out incredibly awful. Terrible testing. So we'll show some clips from him as well. He's played guard and tackle. He's actually played both guard spots. Sounds like he's repping as backup right tackle right now for us. Not second team, but third team. Still, of course, backup right tackle, who had a pretty bad game in week 1 preseason. That needs to improve. Hopefully it does, because that was awful too. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. I'm going to continue. I got to watch it again. I think what I'm going to do, because you guys want to see defensive line, I definitely want to do a defensive line video, but I know for sure I'm aiming to do like a stock watch video where you just hit on multiple players from different positions. So maybe those will be like the 2 videos we prioritize making happen this week, because we don't play until Saturday. But definitely got more stuff coming from the first preseason game. Manu eating up as a roster spot kind of stinks. Guess he could play guard in a pinch. Well, and that's the thing. So, I mean, I guess that's not Jones. I don't know. Does he play? He could play guard. I thought he actually looked better at guard, but I don't think he's in that mix. Sorsdal, of course, can play guard. They're just kind of working him at tackle right now. They look at that as flexible. The only guy that really doesn't have flexibility is Dan Skipper, because, they use Michael Neese at guard too. So the only guy that's really hasn't played that position, or I don't think that they believe can step in and play that role that they've seen, is probably Dan Skipper. And then outside of Giovanni Manu. Worried about where he goes, Malcolm. Hey, honestly, man, what the thing is this, I was like, yo, I didn't think they played him. I kind of forgot about the injury, that was the case. Ben Neiman played really well in that first game. It wasn't perfect. It was not perfect. I thought he showed real limitations in coverage. But in fairness, Malcolm Rodriguez has limitations in coverage too. But Ben Neiman plays smart. He carried over a lot of things from Kansas City. And he was also playing the run really well. I mean, I like the way that he played the run, the physicality that he played with in there. So I'm with you. I think Ben Neiman played a good game. I don't think Malcolm gets waived. I don't think that, at least not soon. I mean, he needs to get out there and participate, but I don't think that's something that's like soon is going to happen. That would be something that would be like final day of cuts if something like that did happen. I would still bet on Malcolm making it, because I really like what Malcolm has done in camp. So I would still bet on Malcolm making it, but Ben Neiman did look good. There's no question Ben Neiman battling for a spot. 100% agree. Like we've seen for Jefferson and Gilbert. Yeah, Jefferson, I mean, look, Jefferson's, man coverage looked awful, but Malik Jefferson did pop a little bit, and he popped the same way he popped in camp, which is great. And Deron Gilbert did some good too. Deron Gilbert probably the biggest surprise for me, because I didn't notice him that much in camp outside of pass rush, which was weird. And then in the preseason game, Deron Gilbert actually made some plays outside of pass rush. So Gilbert's obviously got the weird body type, and he's not like a freaky athlete to make up for it. But Deron Gilbert played well too. I was talking about this on the way home with shout out to Michael Banks. On the way home, I was like, yo, I think a linebacker position is one of our deepest positions. Like, it's a really good room with Ben Neiman now. Jalen Reese-Maven was incredible when he was in. And, then you get beyond it. Like, Malik Jefferson was flashing, too. We got everybody's flashing in that room. Deron Gilbert was flashing. Jefferson flashes. All those guys had flash plays. So I think the linebacker room is one of our strongest rooms right now in terms of just depth. We got a lot. We're deep there. And the weird thing about that is because of injuries, we had to go sign a linebacker and not having Malcolm Rodriguez. And then also Matthew Betts no longer really playing the sandbacker role. So actually getting lighter there, but the guys that are playing that position are pretty darn good. Dan Skipper played left guard. Yeah, and you know what? And Dan Skipper, like, he looked awful at guard when he first did it. I don't know if it was 2022 where it looked terrible. I remember when he first did it, it was like, this looks really bad. But I think he did improve at guard. If I remember correctly, he played more beyond just one game. Let me double check. I think he played beyond one game at guard. Let me check. Yeah, he played left guard this past season. He played against the Raiders. Okay, that's right. Yeah, that one didn't look great. We actually watched that one when we watched him play against the Raiders. I think there was some good in there, though. Like, the fact that he was able to make it work was pretty impressive. I don't think, I guess the whole thing of in a pinch, I don't know. I don't think we're in a bad spot in terms of, like, interior depth right now, in terms of, like, we don't have enough players that can play interior. I think we got guys that can play on the inside. So I don't subscribe to that. Like, I think we're fine there. It's more so about just figuring out which guys are actually going to just make this team. Like, it feels like we have a lot of that. And K.O.'d sounds like he had a good day today, even though I missed some of the drills. But we'll go through that. Let me, okay. So, yeah, we have the injuries on the screen. Skipper did get a game ball. Skipper's built different, bro. Skipper's crazy. Skipper's crazy, man. That's the one guy I would not want to line across Dan Skipper. Anything else? Yeah, so we talked about Hooker, so they probably will sign a quarterback, I assume, because they're not going to want Sudfeld to play the entire game. It made me think, like, maybe they'll say, let's play Goff, but from what I think it was what I read or what I heard, it was sounding like Goff's probably not playing this weekend either. So they definitely should sign a quarterback if Hendon Hooker can't play this weekend. I guess you could have Sudfeld play the full game, but if something happened to Sudfeld, then you wouldn't have a quarterback. You would just be running like Wildcats. So you probably should sign somebody and get that done soon. That way at least he has a week to run a very limited playbook, and you just keep it very basic with him. I expect that will happen. As I said, we'll go through the Sudfeld stuff too. I want to do that. Sudfeld was not good, but I didn't think he was as bad as like kind of the outrages. I know we were messing around kind of in the post-game show. I'd went back through Nate Sudfeld's game, and I was like, okay, it wasn't good, but it wasn't like I can't do anything with this. Like, it wasn't that bad. I think I overblown on how bad it actually was. That's how it goes. It got overblown to me. But anyways, he does need to improve, and he needs to put together a much better week 2. And hopefully we can get Hooker out there in some fashion because, as Dan said, like, he had a very limited playbook. So hopefully they can get him out there in some fashion, because then they can see if they can build on it, because if he only practices Friday and they play Saturday, I don't even know if he'll play Saturday, to be honest. And if he does, he won't have picked up really anything new to probably add to what he does offensively. So I think there's a real chance that even if he comes back Friday, he doesn't play this weekend. And then obviously you can't do much with that. So then it'd be week 3. What do we see in week 3? I see you, Ryan. Nobody's going to corrupt me, man. Hey, I believe what I believe. It is what it is. But we'll see. We got to see another game. And honestly, the one that stuck out to me was the Tom Kennedy one. It wasn't a great throw, but it should have been a first down. Like, Tom Kennedy, you bobbling that pass made it not a first down, and then we got stuck on the sneak. That was a first down. If you catch that cleanly, that's a first down. But because he bobbled it, and again, it wasn't a great throw, but as, like, your receiver, like, hey, catch the football, but it's wet. So the same excuse you can make for Kennedy slipping out of his hands is the same thing that basically Dan Campbell said about Skipper. It's like, well, or about Sudfeld, like, yeah, the ball was slippery. So it's like, I want to see another game. Leave it at that. I want to see another game. I want to see him in Kansas City. I think Sudfeld has some good football in him. I really do. But again, that's based on, and again, today wasn't a great day, I didn't think, for him. It wasn't necessarily bad. I thought 7-on-7 he looked fine. There was a lot of underneath work. Then he had the interception, which weird thing about this is, before we start to get into this, he threw like an interception, right? I'm sure you guys have seen the headlines. We'll talk about it. But I don't know what it was, if like they just said don't sack the quarterback or what the heck it was, because the edge rusher who was unblocked just stopped rushing. Like, he took a couple steps and then just stopped. And I thought, like, okay, maybe that's just a sack. But he just like stopped on the play. I almost guarantee that was something that was purposely done. That wasn't like the edge rusher, like, I'm not going to get there. Like, he just stopped rushing and then the ball was thrown. So it felt really weird, as if like something was off with this play. I don't know. Sudfeld made stupid decisions, held the ball too long. I don't know. I mean, look, and not every decision was great. Definitely not every decision was great. But again, it gets overblown. We'll talk about it. We'll do a breakdown to it. It definitely gets overblown, though. Sometimes you got to block too. You know, sometimes your first read has to be able to get to its spot. You know, like there is that aspect too. Like I said, I'm not. This isn't for a Nate Sudfeld thing. I'll give that its time. But I just do think that thing gets overblown. But that's, again, like I've done this for years now. I know how it goes. But with all that being said, I want to show these couple players real quick. Give me Skipper. Skipper would be crazy. Nobody wants to hit Skipper, bro. And there ain't no rules in the NFL. Oh, and I bet I have the wrong background. We're supposed to have a different background. It's supposed to look way better than that. But yeah, like there's rules in like high school. Like you can't put certain guys at running back. Man, there ain't no rules. There's no rules in the NFL. I don't think there's rules in the NFL. You can put anybody you want back there. All right, first off, we have our left tackle here. Actually, excuse me, he's playing left guard in this spot. This is Jaquan. Is it Jaquan? Let me double check. Jamarco. I said Jaquan. Oops. Jamarco Jones. This is the tackle that we signed. They're playing him at right tackle. I thought he looked better at guard, so I was a little bit surprised. And the athletic testing scared a lot of teams, I think, to play tackle. But he actually plays a lot faster, I think, than any of the testing scores really show. He plays really low. You can see him here at left guard. He's very quick off the ball. He's a very impact run blocker as well. So we're going to see him here again at the left guard position. This was actually probably his best game of the 2021 season, at least from what I had went through so far, a couple of his games. He sees his ability to drop his pad level, create movement. There he is, his zone blocker, reach blocking, drive guys out of the play. Like there's a lot of that in his game. And then you see him. Oh, they're actually going to switch real quick. This is going to be our linebacker. So number 39 is a linebacker that we just signed, whose name is, I want to get these right. We got Jamarco Jones. Hold up. What is his name? Jamarco Jones and Beauplan. I think that's, I don't know. I think that's how you say his name. Number 39. Now, this dude, Derek Barnes vibes right away. He's undersized. He's under 6 foot tall, but he has pretty good weight to him. He played kind of that will linebacker role there. At that time, he's too aggressive inside. The agility seemed a little bit questionable in terms of like change direction smoothly. It didn't feel that smooth. Felt very choppy. But here again, we see him on the line of scrimmage. We see the closing burst that he brought. And in coverage, you would see it's pretty decisive. He could get depth pretty well. He had a nice understanding. It felt like he had a nice awareness about him in zone coverage, which was cool. I do question, like, again, how well he's going to mirror and match up with guys. But for the Lions, I would assume they like some upside here to rush the passer. And that's the thing I'm curious about. Like here, reading the back turns into a counter play, so he's a little bit late to it, but steps down. You can see the impact on point of attack. And it wasn't even that clean at the point of attack. Square that up and make the tackle. That's kind of how he played every play that I had seen of him. So, you know, there seems to be some potential flexibility there. Off ball, maybe in that sandbacker position, even though he's a little bit undersized, but his length isn't bad either. You know, he's got almost 32-inch arms. So I'm curious to see where they play him. But honestly, fluidity-wise, maybe they'll want to try to put him on the line and see what that is, especially with Betts not playing sandbacker no more. Maybe it'll be something like that. Man said, is this from 70? Hey, that's that non-copyright filter. Bro, no. So if anybody doesn't know why I make it look like that, that's straight up to try to avoid copyright. If it's not all 22, they will copyright it, and the NFL don't play. And I don't play with it either. Like, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to get copyrighted. So I just do this. It looks awful, but I do it just to avoid any potential copyright. I filter the thing. Sometimes I even have it grainy like this just to try to avoid copyright. And for the most part, it usually works. If I keep it short enough, it works. That's why I do it. So it's better than seeing nothing, I guess, but you can't get like old all 22. They didn't have it back before 2023 for preseason games. And I think even for like normal games, they kind of just got rid of it. So I just roll with that. You could see it, but it doesn't look good. No, I hate looking at it too. But you can see what's going on. If you know what you're looking for, you could see it. So that's, you know, it's better than nothing. All right, with that, let's get into some of the notes here. Honestly, some of these I haven't really looked at until now we're live. So, again, there's a chance that I missed some of these just based on the view. Yeah, hey, YouTube don't play. I don't know if it's YouTube or the NFL, man, but they want their money. So you show their clips, bro, they're taking that. They're taking that. Okay, here we go. Let's get into this. Main first thing I had was wide receiver DB. We just showed the injury stuff, so let's start here. Wide receiver DB. Got to avoid the legal department. They're crazy. They're crazy. All right. Let me actually unplug it. Okay, let's go. So we got wide receiver DB. Fortunately, we don't really have graphics for this. I had a picture. I can just show you a random picture of the training camp before players are on. I can just show you the field, but no, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna talk through this again. If you guys have questions or whatever, like maybe there's something I seen that I didn't note down, maybe potentially, or maybe there's not. But wide receiver DB was right in front of us, and I love seeing this. They were also doing linebacker, like running back. I think tight ends were over there too, maybe safeties. maybe say Brian Branch was over wide receiver DBs, but if he could have been over there, Norris, those kind of things. I didn't see any of that drill. That was on the opposite side of the field. So we start here first. First play was a Amon-Ra St. Brown was covered up, pass breakup by Carlton Davis. All right, I want to stop right here. I got to stop right here. Bro, Carlton Davis was a dog today. This was the best day I've seen of Carlton Davis. Like, there's been plays where there's Carlton Davis made a big play. And there was the one practice where he had that big pass breakup and he came flying in, cover 3, took away the seam, and it was beautiful. Today was the best day I've seen from Carlton Davis. I probably can count like 4 times he was attacked and it turned up incomplete. Scrimmages showed up, one-on-ones. He was really good. I thought, I walked away from today like, oh, that's a number 1 corner. And I don't know what it was. Like, maybe it's because he didn't play and he's refreshed or something. I don't know. But he looked incredible today. And it started off, when you go to St. Brown to start his drill, it's almost like a guarantee it's going to work. And now this isn't team, which is easier. But it's like you start off a drill and you go to St. Brown because it's like, let's just get things going. And it was a pass breakup by Carlton Davis to get things started. I'm like, wait a minute, what the heck was that? And then he continued. So we had that one. Then we had Isaiah Williams, who beat Stephen Gilmore on a curl route as well. Isaiah Williams coming off of a nice preseason showing. I mean, I want to see more opportunities, that guy. Here's another guy, too, and we were talking about this on the way back. Keep an eye on this weekend. James Mitchell. That's the guy I'm circling, man. I think James Mitchell is going to get a lot of opportunity this weekend. He seemed like, in a way, I don't want to say force-fed, but it felt like he was in the action today. And I could see a real possibility that next week, after he had the 1 reception, he gets a couple design plays to him. Like, let's try to get James Mitchell the ball. Not like let's throw a check down and see what he does with it, but let's run a route and let's design it to go there first. And I think that could be, this is a guess, but I think we could see that because of the competition at tight end. They want to see, oh, James, are you going to make this team or not? All right, we're going to give you opportunities. We're going to see what happens. And they may have to kind of put that into the offense and force it his way a couple times. But I thought I saw him with the first team today. Keep an eye on James Mitchell. That was a side note. Just keep an eye on this week, and I think he's going to be involved. Appreciate you, Mr. Detroit City. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for stopping in. Good. About time Davis is a number 1. And that's the thing, right? So, Ken, this is true. Up to this point, he had made flashes, and he got beat in one-on-ones. I didn't think he was great ever in one-on-ones. It's like, all right, the guy got over top of him. It's like, okay. And there would be, he had the interception. This was his best day. Easy. Best day. I thought Carlton was awesome. Jamison Williams then beat Terrion Arnold on a slant, which was, he beat him. He had a pretty nice release there, and we know he's kind of opened that up. And by the way, slants are extremely difficult to cover one-on-one, unless you're Khalil Dorsey, because for whatever reason, he sits inside leverage and he just parks on those routes and no one can get open. But Jamison Williams did drop it. He got separation on the slant and then dropped the ball. Now, J-Mo made maybe the catch of the day in team drills, which we'll get to, but he dropped that one. I saw things that James Mitchell was on the bubble. I think he's on the bubble. We did our 53. I didn't have him on the 53. I think he's on the bubble. Shane mainly does work with the first team. And also, okay, it actually does make sense now I'm thinking about Sam Laporta didn't practice again today. So it does make sense that James Mitchell was with the first team today. And then, again, I just showed the injury thing, but just a quick little update there. So no more Mo Norris, no Levi. He said he's dealing with a knee thing, but it doesn't sound like it's super serious. He's going to be back there soon. He's hoping to be back tomorrow, or I think it was tomorrow. No Ali McNeil, who was not there today. No Fountain, and no Sam Laporta, who's working with the trainer. All right, so those were a couple little injury updates we had. I'm sorry, but this is a bad start. I can't read. I'm sorry. Hold up. I'm sorry, but this is bad starting off all these injuries. I don't think our backups are garbage. I don't think they are. And you know what's weird, though? I think in certain spots, we have questions. But I saw a post, and it was Lions have, 22 starters, and they don't have any depth. And it was I don't even know where I saw this at. I just read it, and I was like, wait, what? Now, I think at certain positions you can make that case, but I think at a lot of positions, too, a lot of our depth are guys that we've had for years. Jalen Reeves-Maybin, that's an awesome backup linebacker. Jalen Reeves-Maybin as linebacker 4, he was awesome. Now, linebacker 5 feels like it's up in the air, right? Is it Malcolm? Is it Ben Neiman now? Safety, for example, if he is now technically a backup, he's kind of a backup. That's an awesome backup safety to have. Now, beyond that, Brandon Joseph. Brandon Joseph made an interception today. He did his thing again. It just depends at what position you're talking. If you're saying offensive line, I could see that. We did invest in that, though. Mahogany was back in the building. That's a good look. Mahogany was back in the building and did not practice today. They said that he is working out and they need to get him right, but he is working out now, so that's good. Maybe we'll see him soon. Honestly, and here's the thing, too, is the lineman, Jamarco Jones, he gives me flashes. He gave me flashes of Mahogany too. Mahogany was an awesome, gap scheme, pulling offensive lineman. I think Jamarco Jones has that in his game too. He's very versatile in that sense. He's a people mover. He's a people mover at the point of attack. But in pass pro, I thought he played a little bit high. Right? Like you could see it in his kick slide. He wasn't that fluid or agile. He had a lot of short, choppy steps, but he did show body control. He stayed within himself. But I thought, he'd get a little bit tall. His early anchor could be a problem, but he could dial himself and sit himself down. He just played a little bit tall early, and it feels like you could get some knockback early. And some of that felt similar to Connor Galvin and his knocks, but as a run blocker, especially on the interior, I got some vibes of Mahogany as just being a straight people mover, zone and as a puller. So, I don't know. That's a side note. I just saw similarities there, but it'll be good to see him. So, how was Sudfeld during camp? I thought Sudfeld was doing well in camp up until I don't know. Okay, let's go through the notes. I didn't think he was bad today. He had the interception, which, again, it was weird because I thought the play was, kind of dead because the edge rusher stopped. But maybe it was like, hey, just let him get the ball off. And then he pushed it downfield, and it didn't feel necessary. He, overthrew it. It was picked off by Joseph, which, again, Joseph is just all over. I mean, if you missed the pass, Joseph's taking it away at this point. That's just what he's doing. But it was still an interception. Has a relative of yours in his cellar. Is that true? Well, that could be true. We're not going to disclose that information, but... You know what I mean? Hey, Easy's crazy, bro. Hey, I'm trying to have Easy on. I hope Sudfeld lights it up, bro, because that'll be a funny show. But regardless, it'll be funny having Easy back on. But yeah, no. So yeah, for offensive line, we did invest in it. I think Michael Neese is a key to this offensive line because KO was our backup guard last year. So it's not like that's who is this guy? He was our guy last year. Sorsel was one of our backups last year. Had to play guard, had to play tackle. Now he's just playing tackle, and I think it's coming along slowly. Let me say that. I thought week 1 was really... Honestly, I thought... And I got to do a full breakdown, so don't hold me to this. But I thought, after watching it back, Sorsel was worse than Nate Sudfeld at his position. That's how maybe some of that might be expectation too, but I was like, this does not look good at all. He's having a really rough day. But anyways, we want that to take a step up. And so a lot of these guys are still the same. Dan Skipper was our backup tackle basically last year, right? Because we didn't have Matt Nelson. So a lot of these guys are the same, but I think Michael Neese is really the key because Michael Neese plays backup center now for us and guard. I don't know if any of these other backup centers really can step into that role. Outside of maybe Kingsley could surprise and make this team right now. I don't know there's another center that I feel great about actually having a shot to make the 53 other than maybe Kingsley, and I don't know that he does. So I think Michael Neese is the key. We know Graham can kick the center, but if he wasn't there, Michael Neese, I think, becomes very important for us. Then we had Khalil Dorsey, who absolutely clamped a Jalen Calhoun slant. Like I said, hey, Khalil Dorsey's had one of the best, most consistent camps to me every day, especially one-on-ones. Every day I think he's good. Every day I walk away like, that was good. And, there was one rep that I was watching through, and I'm, talking through it dude, he's doing his thing. And then in the preseason game, he was really good, too. Khalil Dorsey is legit. If I had to bet right now, I think Khalil Dorsey makes the 53. That's where I'm at with it after the Mosley injury. I would bet on him making the 53, but still has to go out there and prove it. I don't know what this one is. Donovan Peoples-Jones. I think Donovan Peoples-Jones had a reception. I don't remember. I think it was a reception on the go route. I believe it was, but I'll come back to that one because I honestly can't tell. That one cut off. When you're typing fast, sometimes he's cut off. I had Maurice Alexander beating Kendall Vildor, who definitely contested some passes today. Got to be honest, our backups are worse than I thought. Really? Okay, what position, though? What position? Because I think cornerback depth is at its the best it's been since Brad's been here. I think linebacker depth is arguably the best that it's been since Brad's been here. Safety depth is a little bit unknown, but Brandon Joseph has played well, so I'm pretty confident in it right now. Defensive line depth, I think, is in a really good spot. Josh Pascal's honestly kind of a backup now, or Davenport. Then the interior, you have Broderick Martin, and you have Levi. Dude, you got starters on your backup defense line. O-line for sure. Okay, O-line. And that's the thing. O-line is difficult. It's just, really, the big thing for me with O-line is where does Sorsel go? Does Sorsel take steps forward? Because Michael Neese is solid, and Michael Neese can play guard. I thought Michael Neese had a fine day, and I remember I think Yodi did fine too at guard. It was okay. So yeah, I'm with you with O-line. I think O-line's always been kind of thin for the Lions. The big difference has been we've always kind of found a backup center. We've always kind of found a guy to be our backup center. It was Graham. Graham was our backup center. And then because we had Big V go out, like Graham just became a starter. And then it was like, oh, okay. He came into the year and was like, oh, we got our backup center. And then he was out. And then the other year was Evan Brown kind of took over as an undrafted guy as our backup center. To me, that's the only real position because honestly, backup tackle has kind of just been addressed how they've done it for years. Like they've just let guys improve. Dan Skipper was it last year. Now he kind of is again. They've kind of just let that be what it is. So they've addressed it. But Manu's not in a place right now. I don't think you can count on him, even though I have to watch back and see how I feel about how Manu played. And then Mahogany, we just haven't seen yet. So, yeah, backup center is the biggest question. Like, it definitely is. But the fact that we have Graham that can kick there probably eases that a little bit for him. So, it's just going to come down to Michael Neese because everything else feels similar to what it's been. And then receiver. I think you could say receiver is questionable just because it doesn't feel like we have a clear lock beyond Khalif, Saint, and J-Mo. Doesn't mean we don't have necessarily depth. It just doesn't. We don't really have a clear lock there. And now Antoine Green's injury. Tight end. I think tight end's really good with depth. I mean, Sean McEwen, I think he had a drop today. I don't think he's going to make the team. But Parker Hesse, honestly, I think he's making a case like, I'm going to make the team. In 7-on-7s, I think he had a reception today. And it's like, hey, if he can play tight end too, he's going to be someone that's going to be hard to keep off. And then obviously, I think you guys are probably also talking about quarterback too, which, again, quarterback, it was Bridgewater last year and it was Hooker who didn't play. So it was basically Bridgewater and it was Sudfeld, right? I mean, yeah, I guess we'll just have to see how it plays out. Like I said, I like Sudfeld more than most. I need to see more, of course, and I think they'll sign somebody, but I'm not completely off Sudfeld. So I guess that's probably where most of us differentiate, and then we'll see how next week plays out. Do something when it counts. He's nothing more than a training camp all-star right now. Broski, what the heck? Broski, that was out of left field, my guy. That wasn't even part of the conversation. All right, chat, get him. Chat, get him, dog. Hey, I'm just going to stand back on this one. My man just came in here with that. I mean, y'all gonna let that happen? That's crazy. That's actually that's crazy. Hey, that's wild. That's wild though. All right. Anyway, we'll continue. What has Sudfeld showed me? So I like Sudfeld a lot with San Fran. I liked his last preseason too. Now he had bad interceptions. I think the first play, if I remember correctly, the first play he threw was an interception, and I thought he was forcing it to the guy, put it out late. Like, I definitely need to see improvements. I'm not like, oh, he's the guy. He's lock him in. I also think that Hooker healthy probably ends up our number 2, and I'm very cool with that as well. But I liked Hendon Hooker's decision making last year. I liked it when we re-signed him. So I just need to see. I just need to see more games. I just need to see more games. That's it. I need to see more games. Am I rolling with Davenport? Davenport, yeah, Davenport's our guy. Davenport's that dude. Davenport's that dude. Davenport's gonna be a dog, bro. Hey, bros, you better stop playing. Braxton Jones don't want that smoke. I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know right now. You don't want that smoke that's about to happen. I don't know when we play y'all though. I honestly don't know. I was gonna say the week, but I don't know. All right, let's continue. Amik Robertson, near pass breakup on St. Brown. This one was heavily contested. St. Brown, though, made the grab, and that was another curl route. St. Brown, he pulls it on traffic usually. Then I had Tom Kennedy on a win, on a contested slant grab. Let me do this real quick, just because I want to make sure that I got the right. Like I said, most of these I'm typing names in, but some of them I just throw a number, and I want to make sure I have the right number, just because it's happening so fast. If I don't, I'm going to miss the player. If I try to think about it, I'm going to miss. I think that was Stephen Gilmore. Yeah, it was Stephen Gilmore. I had Stephen Gilmore getting beat by Tom Kennedy on a slant. Then Khalif Raymond with the slant on Enos Rakestraw. This was probably one of the easiest wins, I thought, of the entire drill. He's separated by a lot on Rakestraw Jr. on this slant, and easy reception. Hendon Hooker with the starters could be fire. Well, I don't know if we're going to see the starters at all in the preseason. I don't think we will. I can say we're not going to see starters play at all. Wait, he said Hooker? See, Chad, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, okay? I mean, we can't just let that happen. We're here doing a live stream talking Lions, and Brosie's is going to come in here with that. What are we doing? Honest, hey, yeah, so this is what I'm excited. This is why I want to do the defensive line video, because I want to watch Betts back again, because I remember one play, but that's all I remember. So I want to see, like, what else happened there. I want to see what else he did. Traquan Smith had, this was nasty. This actually could have been the catch of the day, but I think they called him out of bounds. I couldn't tell. When I saw it live, I thought he caught it, but I think they called it out of bounds. Either way, it was Traquan Smith. He ran like a fade on Khalil Dorsey. It was contested incredibly well, and Traquan usually not a big separator in these one-on-ones anyways. Back shoulder, he toe tapped that thing. I thought he was in bounds. The reaction was kind of as if like he wasn't in bounds, but that would have been the catch of the day if it was a catch. He did finish the process. I just don't know if his feet were in bounds, but I thought they were watching it live for whatever that means. Caden Davis had an incredible grab. See, now I'm forgetting. Caden Davis had an incredible grab, and this was on Terrion Arnold. So, hey, bro, Caden Davis is another guy that needs to pop. He needs to pop next week. He needs to be on it next week. Sudfeld, get him the ball because he had a go route today. And he got over top of Terrion, and he made just a diving extension grab. That thing was beautiful. I was like, that was Caden on Terrion? Hold up. Did you think about playing some of the starters? Look, I'm here for it as a fan. I mean, I guess technically we played a couple last week, right? We played Terrion. I guess we played one. Yeah, we played one. I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. I just kind of let it happen, though, because I was told Neighbors wasn't going to play, and that dude's out there playing. I'm like, okay. All right. Right before the game, it was like, Neighbors ain't playing. And it's like, oh, Neighbors played. Like, okay, I don't know. All right? But I would definitely take Dan Campbell's word, because usually he's telling you what's going to happen. He's not lying. Isaiah Williams had a comeback route on Kendall Vildor, so that was his second completion. Great coverage on fade. Jameson Williams against Carlton Davis. Great coverage here on this fade route. It was more like a corner route that was set up to it was like towards the pylon, if I remember correctly, on Jameson Williams, and Carlton Davis was all over. I think this was the one that in my head I was talking through. Like, ooh, getting the hip. He got in the hip. Like, he was on top of the route, and he dropped into the hip, and he rolled through it, and Carlton was just like, he was just riding his hip all the way to the pylon. Now, maybe if it was like the perfect thrown ball, maybe. But that one fell incomplete, and that was beautiful coverage again from Carlton. Calhoun pass breakup by Stephen Gilmore on a dig route. What else do we have here? Amon Ra pass breakup Brian Branch. Honestly, Brian Branch, I think he gave up one reception in this drill, but he also had one of the most beautiful pass breakups. Yeah, he definitely got cooked off the line. We're about to talk about that. I forgot he did get cooked off the line, but he did have a beautiful pass breakup on St. Brown first on like an out route where he from behind him like launched into the air. He like levitated and broke it up. I was like, that was nasty. That was nasty. That dude looked like he was floating for a second. That was nasty. It was beautiful timing. So we had that one. Then we had Dorsey, who dropped an interception by jumping a slant on Race Alexander. You don't run a slant against Dorsey. For anybody, that wants to know like what the strategy is, that's not the strategy. Then we saw an over-the-shoulder route, which was an absolute dime, probably the throw of the drill, to Collie Freeman on Amik Robertson. It was probably 30 yards. Put it on him. It was beautiful. Dropped a dime there. And Kendall Vildor I had with good coverage on Tom Kennedy. They tried to throw back shoulder. It was low. It was incomplete. Didn't really have much of a chance. He was covered up pretty well. I mean, it wasn't also a great ball either. But that was Vildor contested. He's usually contests things, but that was the first one he had in completion. Then St. Brown cooked Brian Branch off the line. He just did his like quick fade. It's kind of the thing we saw he did against the Rams, I think it was. It's like right off the line, boom, boom, and he's out. It was kind of like that. Like super quick footwork, and he was just by him immediately. It's like, all right, St. Brown got him. So it's like he got him. Then Traquan I had with a curl route that was broken up by Stephen Gilmore. Okay, Gilmore, I see you bouncing back. And then finally, Terrion Arnold, a pretty corner route, but that was covered up by that he covered up Caden Davis on. So Davis beat Terrion the play before, or the shot before. This one was a corner route. Terrion took this one away beautifully. And then Dorsey on a press covered up a goal ball to Isaiah Williams that was incomplete. And I think that ball, potentially if it had less on it, could have had a chance, but it was like over the head, if I remember correctly. So those were your one-on-ones. Cleo Dorsey's really good. Carlton Davis had his best, I thought, throughout. St. Brown actually had a battle. He didn't win every rep. He was like more split. Honestly, he may have lost more reps than won in this, to be honest with you. But guys went at him, man. Guys went at him. So that is that. I didn't see the O-line, D-line, but the notes was, we had a lot of guys missing today. So Frank Ragnow handled business. He beat Chris Smith. They had Penei Sewell and Aiden Hutchinson. Some said it was a tie. Maybe we'll get a clip from that one. Graham Glasgow got a win over Chris Smith as well. Is that who that is, Chris Smith? And then KO apparently did his thing. KO can do his thing in pass protection, especially one-on-one. He handled business pass protection. Ukwu had a win. And Ukwu, I also noticed, had a win in scrimmages as well. So just throw that out there. And then Matthew Betts reportedly had a couple wins on Dan Skipper and our new offensive tackle, Jones. Now, Jones don't get off the line that well, I don't think, at tackle. I'm a little bit concerned about him trying to play tackle. We'll see, though. Maybe it does work for him, but that honestly doesn't surprise me. He probably just went right by him on the play. I don't know. It just concerned me. He plays a little tall. He could be knocked off balance, I feel like. Even though he plays with good control, he could be knocked off balance there. And then Egukan handled business against Makai Wingo. So, he actually won a couple of reps versus Makai Wingo and... I don't know. Oh, and Chris Smith. Chris Smith, you in the action, man. All right, so there was that. I think that was everything there. Make sure. So those were the one-on-ones. I think then they went into their 7-on-7. They went into their 7. Actually, no, they went into like a little scrimmage mode here. And the notes that I have from the short little scrimmage that they did first was I had a deflection that was tipped up into the air and caught by Isaiah Williams. So Isaiah Williams finishing on the play, and then they did a little bubble screen, then they did some special teams work, and then we'll get into our first 7-on-7 here. So let's get into that. Now, 7-on-7 was difficult because usually I can kind of get into like what coverage I think they were running. This one I really can't. For most of them, I couldn't actually see like what was actually happening. So some of them didn't get a great perspective on what like was actually beating what. It was more so just a result, which stinks. But regardless, it started off with an out route to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Again, that's kind of the go-to, right in the slot, out route. And we did see St. Brown line wide today, so that's still a thing. He has done nothing except a game-clinching TD against Tampa, against Chicago, on a reverse against New Orleans. 2 TDs, biggest game of the year. Ooh. Anza, hey. Anza spitting, broski. Hey. Anza going crazy. He has 4 total TDs and 2 Z's as well. Dang, broski, that's crazy. I don't even know what to do with this. Straight up, man. I mean, it's just like we need to see y'all make the playoffs first, man. I feel like we're on different levels here. And that's the thing. Like, I think the Bears are going to be good, man. That's the thing. I think they're going to be good. But Broski got me in here hating the Bears, man. I think they're going to be good. Jameson ain't doing nothing. And we still doing our thing. That's crazy. Anyway, let's go. 7-on-7. So out to St. Brown. Then I had a drag route by Khalif Raymond, which he kind of just sat down in the zone. Jack Campbell was all over it really quickly, though. Khalif Raymond plays with both teams. Just kind of throw that out there. Brian Branch then contested a wheel route to Khalif Raymond. That was good, and he was playing safety position. He contested that to an incomplete pass. Then I think they went into like a cover 3 look because they ran a vertical route out wide, and it was St. Brown against Terrion Arnold. Terrion did a really nice job. He attacked the hands, incomplete pass. So I think we're starting to see Terrion come around in terms of consistency. Terrion feels much more consistent every day through practice. He said he's scared of J-Mo. Man. Look, bro, J-Mo's only got like this. Okay, I won't even go into that. Do you think Houston is on the bubble? I think so. I think he has to be. I actually liked how James Houston played from what I remember of the Chicago game. It wasn't perfect, but I actually like what he did for a lot of it as a pass rusher. He didn't have he had a really nice win early in that game. He had a nice shoulder dip, got a hit on the quarterback. I think it was on like their first or second, third down. Made a nice play there. He had some nice inside-outside. He was definitely playing the run. The issue that I thought James ran into is when he got kicked to off ball. I just thought he was way less consistent. I thought his lateral movement didn't look great. And just being consistent, sitting down, holding his gap. I thought every time he had to kick off ball, it looked a little rough. When he was on the line of scrimmage, I thought he looked fine. I actually thought he looked pretty good. Just comparatively, like not seeing anything last year. But I thought off ball looked very shaky. So, he has to be able to have that flexibility, but I thought that's where he looked shaky. I just think everything looked like it was happening fast for him. I think that's the big thing. Everything felt like it was happening fast for Houston when he would go to off ball. And it was like he was moving a lot more than he needed to. Like there was a lot of unnecessary movement, it felt like. Like underneath there was a lot of opportunities that he didn't even have to rush the passer where he would drop out in coverage. And they asked him to drop into coverage a ton in that last game. So it wasn't, he didn't just have straight opportunities to rush the passer. He played that sandback roll. There was a lot of dropping underneath to the flats, which, again, I thought was fine. I just thought there was some unnecessary movement. It just wasn't all that natural. But I thought as a pass rusher, he actually looked pretty good. I thought there was a plus there. So yeah, we have the one that was incomplete, Terrion Arnold. Then we got the second unit come out there, and they start off with an under route to Khalif Raymond. So again, he plays both sides. Then I had a pass break up by Khalil Dorsey on Shane Zylstra. Dorsey continuing to do his things. Then this was probably one of the best throws, I think, from Sudfeld. They utilized the motion. They did this a couple times. They got him into man coverage, I believe, and they ran a really quick wheel route to the running back. And this was Jamar Jefferson, and Jamar Jefferson is popping in camp. Like, not where it's like you feel like he's breaking every run or he's jumping over guys or there's like, whoa, one-handed grabs. But he is super, super consistent in camp. Super consistent in camp. So keep an eye on Jamar. Like, obviously that's my guy, right? And I think running back position, it's going to be really tough to break into just because it's kind of loaded. But he has been pretty darn consistent, it feels like, this year in camp. And this was nice because they used the motion, hit him on the wheel route. He's definitely had much more of a pass game impact than in years prior. And Jalen Reeves-Maybin got over there, but he was over there late. So it was a good time to get the ball out fast and be decisive. Then we had probably the play of the drill, which was another pass. This was a beautiful pass by Sudfeld. On the sideline, this one was thrown. High point pass to Tom Kennedy. Got his feet in bounds right on the right sideline between the two zone defenders. I don't know what zone it was. Probably some sort of cover two. But this was pretty too. So a couple of really good throws there towards the right sideline because the wheel was as well. Then they ran a quick out route on a linebacker. Then again, it looks like a cover three drop. They went to a drag, kind of let it develop, got it underneath, out under beyond the corner into that flat zone, across the field to Isaiah Williams. And then they ran another flat motion, and this time they used Parker Hesse, who ran into the flat. It was a short route, but it showed his flexibility to play some tight end, so that was cool. And then finally, they went into what I think was cover one. They went straight man, single high safety. Yeah, it was. They took a shot. The pass was overthrown. It was overthrown over top. It wasn't bad coverage, though. It was Stephen Gilmore one-on-one, and it was Lawrence Strickland working over top, and the pass was just overthrown. Like, it didn't really have much of a chance there. So some good throws. Missed the big play over top there. I'm glad I caught you. Yes, sir. My man, how you doing? It's good to see you in the chat, man. I see you in the chat. You know I'm reading them comments. How you doing, man? Caleb will have 20 inches this year. Dang. About to have a Jameis Winston season. That's what you're saying? Yes, and that's it. Now, Jamar does like make the roster and then get cut immediately. But they like him like they do because they don't want him to go through waivers. It feels like a lot of times they're worried about losing him. And then he just sticks around. And I think a lot of it's special teams. But also I think offensively this year, like I guess it's fair to say that it makes sense that he would look consistent because he's been here so many years now. It's like, what, year 4 now? But he does. Like, he looks like through all he comes up with the football, his pass game is expanding. As a rusher, he feels consistent. He just doesn't feel dynamic or game-breaking, even though he had a lot of big plays in college. But he's definitely consistently productive in practice this year, more so than I think in years past, where it'd be like a big play. I haven't really seen those this year, but I've just seen consistency out of him, which is the big thing there. Situationally, then, they went into some more special teams drills, jammer, gunner, that kind of thing. I think it was actually ends. And then we got into our situational drills. All right, and this is going to wrap it up. He's like Tom Kennedy. And yeah, I mean, and Tom Kennedy's kind of the same way. I think it's a good comparison because Tom Kennedy's the same way. There's like, you're not going to run the full route tree with him, but the routes they ask him to run, you throw it to him, he's usually open. He usually comes up with the football. And even in the Giants freeze game, like he ran good routes. He had the one where it kind of came out of Sudfeld's hand. It was underthrown on the third down. That one play, which I think, a lot of people kind of think back on, it was a beautiful route by Kennedy because they were sitting outside leverage and he was able to attack the leverage and then separate outside. He was able to gain that leverage and then break outside off of it and create separation. I think Tom Kennedy, man, he's just like that. I think it's a very good comparison. So then we got to the situational drills, and let me make sure I have these correct here. I just want to double check because this was a little bit confusing because some of it looked like a walkthrough, some of it looked legit. Let me make sure I have everything. All right. I think it was... Okay, yeah, so this would actually been the second one because they started off by just running the football, and this is what was throwing me off. I was like, why are they just running the ball? So they were like running the clock, but they were up. And then they would kind of try to run the clock out and then punt it away, and then the other team would have to step in, and they would have to go try to score. So they started off by trying to run the clock out, did a couple of short runs, and some of the runs, honestly, the second time through, they just looked like walkthrough plays. They didn't even look like they were like full. It was just like, oh, let's walk to the... They didn't even look legit. It was more the third down play, which ended up getting a sack, and I think that was Derek Barnes who got that thing started. Then they flipped it over, and Sudfeld got the first look at it. They had him... I'm going to make sure my situation's right. So I have him at 108. So, yeah, minute 8 on the clock. No timeouts from they had them at their own 10-yard line. I didn't realize they were that far back. It didn't look that far back. Okay, they had them that far back. All right. Let me make sure I have these right. So yeah, it started off for me. I had a make sure I got this. It started off for me. I had a sack by Isaac Ukwu, and again, like when I saw that, and he actually got there pretty quickly. Isaac Ukwu got there pretty fast, and I think he beat our right tackle on that play, which probably would have been Sorstal. Isaac Ukwu, man, he was great in the preseason game. He was popping at the end of camp. Isaac Ukwu has carried that over, and he's carried that over. Like, he's just continues to be consistent. Isaac Ukwu's the dark horse to make this team. If there was a guy to put in that spot, it'd be him, no question, from Ole Miss, the undrafted free. If there's someone that's going to shock us to make the team, it's him. Especially with Nate Lynn that's now down. That just kind of opens up that opportunity even more. Then I had him missing a pass, corner route to Maurice Alexander. It was high on the play. They ended up bringing Enos Rakestraw Jr. off the edge on a blitz. And it was high and incomplete. Then they had good pass protection, 4-man rush. They went out to a flat to Tom Kennedy. And now with 34 seconds left on a 4th and 5, they needed this. And Sudfeld delivered a nice ball. They got open. It was after really slow start. They got Maurice Alexander open on the sideline. I feel like it was a deep out, but it may have been like some sort of comeback route. Set him down, picked up a first down. Look, man, Isaac's been more productive than Houston. The thing is, like, Isaac, I haven't seen as much versatility in terms of them asking to drop in coverage as often. But in terms of pass rush, like, alone, they're playing on different teams, but production-wise, like, Isaac's been more productive. And especially in practice, to me, he's been noted a lot more. He's been noted a lot more for me personally. So, 34 seconds, 4th and 5. They completed a big route to Khalil Dorsey to keep things alive. Then with 28 seconds left, I had a near sack on the play that ended up turning into a drop. Is that right? Let me make sure that was right. I think that was right. Yeah, they had a near sack on the play that was dropped by Sean McEwen. I think that was when they just went a little underneath pass. Then I actually did have a sack. Okay, who did I have with the sack? Was this Isaac again? See, that's why I got to double check my numbers, man, because if Isaac got another sack. Oh, no, that would have been Gilbert. Wouldn't that have been Gilbert? 53's Gilbert. I had Deron Gilbert with the sack. Yo, that's the thing, man. For whatever reason, Deron Gilbert gets sacks in practice. For whatever reason, he finds a way to be productive in terms of getting pressure in practice. So, he tied that with what he did, which I thought was pretty good in the last preseason game. I think he's got something going. But I had him with a sack here. Yep, Deron Gilbert with a sack. And the Deron Gilbert play with the sack is the play that he threw the interception. That's what it was. Okay, so this is what it was, man. This was the Brandon Joseph interception, and it was weird because I guess it makes sense. You have the drop. I think there was 23 seconds left I had when he threw the interception. Where they were out in the field, it felt like it wasn't necessary, but he pushed it, but the play felt late, like it came out late. And to me, I thought Deron Gilbert stopped rushing on the play. I saw him rush off the edge. It looked like he had a clear path to the quarterback, and he did not rush the quarterback. He just kind of stopped. And to me, that's what threw me off. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like, did he just stop on his own and he's like, I couldn't get there? Or was this like, don't sack the quarterback? Like, it felt really weird. So I marked it as a sack. And then the ball was thrown. Made the whole situation feel weird to me personally because I was like, it's almost like they wanted to just throw the ball kind of regardless there. The whole thing was strange. But Brandon Joseph ended up with an interception. They tried to hit Traquan Smith deep. And he just overthrew it kind of right into the lap of Brandon Joseph. But again, I thought there was a sack on the play first, or there would have been a sack, but he didn't like play. It wasn't like one where they play it through and he runs to the quarterback. He kind of just got on the edge and stopped, which is so weird because it looked like he had a path to the quarterback. So that was how that ended. Then they kind of walked it for the offense. They ran the clock, and the offense got back out there, the first team, and this is how we ended the drill. Probably the most fireworks from the day. It started off down 3 with 21 seconds I had him with. Started off defense, went into what looked like some quarters coverage. Like they were backing up. They were trying not to give up the big play. And they did. It was Jamison Williams who ran a deep post, contested by like 3 defenders, pulled it down in traffic, and he really set up what was the big-time field goal, and the field goal that would ultimately tie the game because they were down 20-17 in the situation. But Jamison Williams, it was a beautiful grab. He went up, high point, multiple guys to contest, strong hands, pulled it down. Beautiful to see that trust. And also just to see that work out. Like, we know that he can go over the top, but to see like a legitimate route other than just running straight. And the very next play, they went into like a prevent defense. They're like, oh, okay, we can't let him get the sideline. Lions ran across her to St. Brown. Took a while to develop. You could see Hutchinson was standing on the sidelines. But on that play, it felt like there was a chance that maybe he wouldn't have got out of bounds because Carlton, I believe, was tracking him down. And I think in real life, there's a chance that maybe he was tackled before getting out of bounds, but he was able to get out of bounds, and that is when they sent out the field goal unit. And from what I had read, I knew it was 55 plus. I knew it was long, but a lot of people had him listed with 64 yards. It was a long kick, and he nailed that thing. With 3 seconds left, he nailed it. It was good by a mile. It felt, I mean, not by a mile, but it was comfortably good. Like, it wasn't like it hit the bottom and bounced. It was comfortably good. And if that was from 64, that's incredible. Because Jake Bates, even though he didn't have like a lot of situational reps today, when he was just warming up or practicing off to the side, he was nailing like long field goals, man. There was a lot of cheers because he was on our side. And then he went out there and drilled that one. Like, he was on it today. He was on one today. He looked really good all day. Have you watched all 22 of D-line? Kind of shows why Houston is struggling. He has to hesitate a lot. That's the thing. So I haven't got to the all 22 side of it. I only have went through the contest version of the full game because that's what came out first. And I thought Houston was, I've seen some of it, all 22, but not the full thing. But yeah, like, I don't know that that's struggling necessarily on some of those because he's asked to drop into coverage. Like, hey, play your run fit, and then it turns into play fake, and they're asking him to drop into coverage. Now, I think at times, yeah, that's a lot more on your plate, and it feels like he has unnecessary movement when he's dropping out. It's not as fluid. And I think if an off ball, to your point, that's where I think, he's not playing it like a true off ball linebacker. That being said, as a pass rusher, I thought he was pretty good. I thought he was pretty good from what I remember. Now, when I watch it back, I may have a different take, but I remember him having an early pressure and a quarterback hit, which kind of went unnoticed because it was, I believe that was a crosser that Enos broke up, or Enos made the tackle on, but he was hit on the play. It's a nice dip. And even outside of that, like, I thought he showed some presence. He flushed the pocket a couple times by winning inside. So I thought he looked fine as a pass rusher. He just was not straight rushing the edge, right? Like, he had other responsibility. You could tell he was playing the run. He was asked to drop into coverage. And to what you're saying, the truth is, what you're saying is exactly why Matthew Betts is not doing that, right? Like, it's what Dan said, right? When we put Betts in that spot, he's not playing as fast. We want him to play faster, so we're going to make him just your typical D and let him get upfield. And that's the thing, like, Houston isn't built to play defensive end, so he has to handle more responsibility for that kind of, because he's definitely not an off-ball linebacker. His best asset is rush the passer. So the only way the Lions are going to do that right now is by saying you have to handle all these responsibilities, and that's a lot on your plate. It's basically what Derek Barnes does. But they know Houston can rush the passer better than Derek Barnes, from what we've seen. So that's what that's at. If all Houston can do rush the passer, he's not going to make the team. And I like Houston. I think as a good pass rusher, you can make the team, just that alone. It just kind of depends on where you're at numbers-wise, but, like, I could see a scenario where he made the team over Ben Neiman. That wouldn't shock me because Barnes can play off-ball. If Malcolm made the team, I could see him making the team over Ben Neiman. Like, I could see that because I would prefer, if I felt like, hey, I got a good pass rusher or I got a backup off-ball linebacker, I'd be like, yeah, I'm probably going to go with the pass rusher. But, yeah, I mean, and it's like, it's not like everything he did was terrible. He got to his spots. He just got to play faster there. He's got to play faster, got to minimize some of that footwork. But it's also a lot. Like, it's difficult to look fast, too, when it's like, hey, here's the play fake, play your run fit. Oh, no, now drop out. And now it's like, I got to find somebody in coverage. Like, it's a little unnatural to kind of play that way. But, again, I didn't think Houston had a bad debut. I didn't think he had a bad debut at all, to be honest with you. I thought he looked good. I thought he looked good from what I remember. So I was perfectly fine with how he had his debut. But at the same time, like, my biggest issues were when he kicked the off ball. That was it. And I haven't seen Isaac Uku do that. I have not seen Isaac Uku play off ball linebacker. I could have missed it. So maybe when I watch it back, I see that. But I haven't seen him asked to have that responsibility. So that's where I think the tough part is Isaac's been very productive, but I haven't even seen him do things like that Houston is asked to do. Has to just play, not think. And that's the challenge, man. It's like, I mean, in every position you're thinking to an extent, right? So it's like, defensive end, obviously we can kind of pull, hey, just play the C gap, dude. Handle the C gap. Get upfield. Hold the C gap. Run our pass. But it's like, yeah, like, just reps will make you play faster. He'll play faster once he gets a hold of it. And like I said, I'm honestly not that concerned with James Houston right now. I just need to see more. I guess we'll have to see where next week goes. I definitely got to rewatch it again, but I didn't walk away concerned with James Houston. I wasn't concerned with, like, I don't think this guy can make the team. Like I said, I thought he did a good job getting after the quarterback. I didn't think he was great, but I thought he was good. I thought he was good. And in comparison to, like, who else was getting after the quarterback, I thought he did just as well as anybody else outside of probably Nate Lynn and Isaac Ukwu. But again, it's also a different team that they were going against at that point. So it's interesting. Those guys came up with sacks, though, I think, right? They actually had a sack. And look, Nate Lynn's sack was not – it was good, but it wasn't like, hey – Broderick Martin kind of made this. Well, was it Broderick Martin? It's like the interior guy kind of pushed a sack into him. Regardless, I think they split it. Yeah. Even though he had 8 sacks, they cut him. They cut him that year? Or was that because of the injury? Look, I'll tell you this though. If you told me, hey, if you told me I had that pass rusher, he's making the team. Like if I was just getting that, I would have him on the team. But yeah, they got to find a role for him. And I thought last year he was kind of coming into his own within that role. So, we'll see. Broderick, he had some up and down, but he had a lot more up, I think, than down. He looked athletic. He looked good. He didn't make the 53. Okay. And even if you go back to year one, it was kind of the same situation, right? They had that role, and they were playing him off ball, and it was like, oh, that's not right there. We're gonna kind of take that out of his game. I'm surprised he didn't make the 53 though, because he didn't make the 53, and then he didn't get picked up by anybody. Are we sure? That feels crazy. It could be true. What year was that? 2021? No, that'd been 22, right? I'm surprised nobody picked him up, because that does sound right. I'm just surprised nobody picked him up. James Houston. Let me see. Oh, hold up. Why would nobody pick him up? I'm surprised by that. It was okay. Not there yet. Dude, hey, every NFL team missed out, straight up. For a 6th-round pick to get cut and not get picked up, that's kind of wild. That's kind of wild. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see, man. Yeah, Wingo was okay. Wingo was okay. He wasn't dominant. I didn't think he was dominant for watch, but he was okay. But he would have had to make it back to the practice squad, right? So he would have had to go through. I'm just surprised. That he wouldn't have got picked up that year. Your rookie year did not get picked up as a 6th-round pick. Honestly, regardless of what he did. Oh, I don't know. I guess we'll see. Yeah. It makes sense. It's just crazy, because usually you wouldn't see it. You're not gonna see a 6th-round pick get cut and then nobody wants him, or they let him get through. But honestly, if he did nothing in camp, I guess that's possible. I don't, not in camp, in preseason. I don't remember it at all, to be honest. I don't remember that at all. But yeah, no, it's true. I just don't remember it. So we'll see. But yeah, I think that's the one we're gonna do. So we're gonna do defensive line. I'll throw Houston into that. We'll throw Betts into that, and then we'll do probably just a stock one, which is just gonna be. I don't know what. I haven't looked at the grades. Wingo was not great against the run. I thought, at least from what I saw initially, against the run, he got pushed off a spot a couple times, which is going to be tougher in the play an interior. So that's what stood out for me. Pass rush, he did some good. I didn't think he was dominant, but he did some good. He got an edge a couple of times. Early it was kind of slow, but he picked it up. But yeah, run defense would probably been the issue if there's bad grades on him. Yeah, that's pretty wild. That is wild. Look at that. Yeah, so that'll be our videos this week. We have till Saturday, and I don't really need to do we might do a preview on like Friday or Saturday, but you don't really need it exactly, so because it's preseason. So we're gonna focus on going through this first week, and because I'm not going to camp because of the surgery, so I'm just gonna focus on doing the rewatch from week 1. We'll do some videos on that. We'll leave it there. Did you hear Levi today? Sounds good, brother. Did I hear Levi? Like him speak with the media? I heard that it sounds like he's gonna be back soon. He's dealing with a little knee thing. Ooh, I just threw something. I want to see him though, man. I want to see him in a preseason game. I want to see what he looks like. Because this is the first year he's really popped, I feel like, in camp. I don't feel like he popped in years past. It was just always about, like, is he healthy? So I want to see him in the preseason. That's what I want to see. Okay, where did my mouse go? Oh, this is not good. All right, well, my mouse is gone. So, hey, we may not be able to end the stream. Okay, there it is. Yeah, I honestly didn't see it. I read through it, and then Banks told me a little bit about it. But, yeah, I honestly didn't see it. I miss all the media stuff, dude. I miss all the media stuff driving there. When I'm driving, they go live and Dan Campbell does his thing. I miss it completely. Then the way back, I'm driving, so anything post, I completely missed it. So yeah, I definitely missed watching it. But that's okay. The notes handle business. That's all right. Okay, I think we're gonna leave it there, man. I think we're gonna leave it there. Shout out to everybody that joined. I honestly don't think I can end the stream, man. I'm lagging. I think I jacked up my mouse and it made me lag because I can't click anything. So I don't know. I'm not sure what I did. Chat, I can't end the stream. We're not leaving. We're staying here. We're staying here, bro. We're not ending. I can't end. I can't click nothing. How did my mouse ruin the stream too? And that's crazy. But yeah, that'll be the plan for the week. That's what we'll do for the week. And then hopefully we'll have Easy on Saturday. And we'll talk about the game again. I know we went late last time. But that's what I'm hoping for. I think I gotta get a new mouse. I think stream is fine. Hey, that's what's up. I just can't click anything. No. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Wait. No, like it's working. It's moving around the screen. I just can't click on anything. I can see it moving, but I can't click anything. Like I can't click off the tab. I don't know what you do with this. I don't straight up. I've never had this problem before. Is there like a end button? Chat, I don't know what to do, bro. We're just gonna sit here. How y'all doing? All right, I guess while we're trying to figure that out, he'll try to get off the stream and then he'll do another. Man, yo, that was funny. I didn't think we were going. Like we went late. Not impressed. Ain't Alliance. Even the coaching was mid. Best guy was Bates. Okay. All right. Alt 4? Nah, Streamo, you lying, man. I know. Hey, I know that's gonna do something that I don't want it to do. I don't know what it is. I might have to unplug it. I'm just wondering if I unplug it, if the stream will end, or if my computer will just turn off. I definitely think I could turn off the computer. I want to make sure the stream ends. Because if I just turn it off, I don't know if it'll actually end or not. It might just be a black screen. I don't want that. I think I might have to get my other. Yo, I might have to get my other mouse, bro. It will reset my computer. Okay, so maybe it will. Oh, Alt 4 closes the application. Well, that might be what we have to do. All right. I'm not on Mac. I'm on PC. That's weird, bro. How did I unplug? All right, I don't know what I did. Anyway, I think that was everything, man. If you're just joining, make sure to run it back. Oh, it's working. It's working. I got it. I don't know what happened. It just started working. I don't know what that was. I can click stuff. All right, we got it. We good. Appreciate y'all joining, man. I don't know if we'll have the video out tomorrow. I'm definitely hoping by Tuesday we have it out. Oh, honestly, Tuesday might be difficult too. Okay, maybe I will have to do it tomorrow. Okay, either Monday or Wednesday, we should have a video out. Tuesday could be difficult. Because Tuesday's a surgery day. I don't know if I'm going to be, like, able to think. So I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I'll be able to make sense of what I'm looking at. It might be funny to do a stream. It just won't be on anything that's actually lines. It'll probably just be me talking and stuff. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. So I kind of want to do a show Tuesday, though. Like, on the stuff they give me. But it won't be serious. You don't believe he was hurt? He was pulled? You don't think he was hurt? Well, dang, bro. Hey. You better get back to practice, dog. Hey. Better get back to practice. That'd be crazy if they're going that far to, like, okay, we pulled you and you're not going to practice. Unless I guess he comes back. What's up, Boom? I see you, Boom. Yeah, don't stream while recovering from anesthesia. Bad idea. Don't do that. See, I want to see what happens, though. I see all the videos of people doing it. Actually, let me read this real quick. We were talking about James Houston. Really enjoyed Easy. Yeah, we're gonna have Easy back on hopefully after the game. Wait, what is the confusion? Hey, yo, see, that's what I'm talking about, bro. Side effects, confusion. See, that might be a problem. That might be a problem. It's also why I want to do. It's also why I want to do. So, okay, worst case scenario: Wednesday video, Thursday, Friday video, a stock watch, Saturday game day. Hopefully, a pregame show that morning, but maybe not because I'll probably have to work. But I gotta figure that out too. Dang, man. I don't know. Man, we'll figure it out. Oh, my. Well, dude. Yo, we'll figure it out. I don't know. Who will be my surprise cut? Surprise cut right now. Craig Reynolds. Craig Reynolds will be my surprise cut right now. I don't want to see Craig get cut. That'll be my surprise cut right now, Craig. Hey, that stream was funny, though. That stream was funny. I was being honest. I wasn't even lying. Baki's going to be a dog. And I was being honest about Sudfeld. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I'm like Phil. I did just my observations. Okay, all right. We're gonna get out of here. Any chance Mo North? Man, I don't think so. But like to see him playing with the second team was kind of promising. I think the chance that he has is the fact that we're kind of light at safety. Because Brandon Joseph, I think, is definitely making it. We know if he's making it. We know Branch maybe. We know Kirby's making it. If we keep a fifth safety, I think he could be above Lawrence Strickland. I mean, no, the depth chart he is. Definitely above Garnes. That would be his chance, right? It's just that we're light there. But I would think it's more likely. I could be wrong because based on like depth, they may more so want safety depth. I kept Strickland in my initial 53. But that was based on camp. And that's who I put in there. That was like my surprise make team. I had Lawrence Strickland making the team. So I think it's possible that they want to have that safety depth. But I think right now Dorsey has been the best player of that secondary room that feels like he's on the bubble. I think he's been the best throughout camp and now the preseason game. Craig stays. I like Craig, man. But with Jefferson doing his thing, Vaki going to make the team, that'll be my surprise. There's also another reason for that. I just forgot what it was. All right, we got to get out of here, man. I appreciate y'all joining. Have a great night, and I will see you hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully we'll see. Also, actually, let me ask you this real quick before we get out of here. Would you guys want a stock watch video to be live, or does it have to be a video? Like if we did a stock watch video, if that was live, would y'all want that? I don't know how we do it because there'd be a lot of clips. It'd probably be pretty long. I'm not gonna lie. It'd probably be pretty long. But maybe if that was like something later in the week, would y'all want that? I don't know. Okay, we'll think about it. I'll think about it. It's probably gonna be a video, but I think a live stream would be cool. I just don't know how I do it. I'd have to have a lot of clips saved, and we could do it. No, we could do it. We just have to have a ton of clips. Like either way, I'm gonna have the clips. It just be a little bit more clunky. We could do it. You prefer the live. See, and I think people in here prefer the live. That's the thing. Michael Banks prefers the live. Shout out to Michael Banks, man. Ooh, I didn't show my iffy picture. My iffy picture's out there. I haven't hung it up yet. I'll show that in the next thing. I'll save that. I'll show you the iffy thing. All right, we gotta get out here. Appreciate y'all. Have a great night, and I'll see you guys soon. We out. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, DET fan man. Hey, spam it with some birthday cakes for my guy's birthday. We out.